Today we will perform some financial ratio analysis, using DAX, in Power BI Desktop. We will calculate some typical ratios, based on financial data of various companies, and create a dashboard comparing these ratios. These ratios will show us overall picture of the industry, as well as individual performance of each company, in comparison to the other companies. Let's start with loading the data into Power BI Desktop. We have the financial data of these companies in a CSV file. The link to this CSV file is placed in the description below. We will import this CSV file into the Power BI Desktop using the Get Data feature. In the Get Data window, we will select the CSV as data source. Then we will select the file, which contains the data, and press Open. In the next window, we will review the data, and press Load, to load the data into the Power BI Desktop. Once the data is loaded, all the fields will appear on the right side of the Power BI Desktop. Now, we will perform ratio analysis on this financial data, using Data Analysis Expression, or DAX. First of all, we will go to the data view. Then we will format all the numeric columns to comma-separated numbers. We will start our financial analysis with calculating the gross profit in a new column. Gross profit will be calculated by subtracting the cost of sales from the amount of sales. We will add another column to calculate net profit, the formula for which is the gross profit calculated earlier, minus other expenses. We will format these columns to the commas-separated numbers as well. Next, we will calculate earning per share, which is the net profit divided by number of shares. We should multiply this by 100 and format the column as percentage. In the next column, we will calculate the gross profit margin, which is the gross profit divided by sales. We may as well calculate net profit margin, which is the net profit divided by sales. Let's format this column as comma-separated number. Next, we will calculate the quick ratio by dividing cash by the current liabilities. In the next column, we will calculate the current ratio by dividing the current assets by the current liabilities. We do not have the current assets pre-calculated. Therefore, we will add the cash to the other current assets to calculate the total current assets. We will then divide this number by the current liabilities to calculate the current ratio. We will format this column as comma-separated numbers as well. Now that we have calculated all the ratios, let's start with our dashboards. The first dashboard that we will create will give us the overview of our financial data. We will choose black color for our dashboard background. So, let's start our dashboard by inserting a KPI visual as background for all title. Let's add the sales field to the values area. Let's change it to average. We will add the year field to the trend axis. Then we will set the alignment of call-out value to right. We will also set the alignment of title to right. Now we will add a title to our dashboard by inserting a text box visual. Let's make the background of the title transparent. Let's add a line and column chart to display net profit and earning per share of all companies. We will add the companies to the x-axis. The net profit field to the column y-axis as average. And the earning per share to the line y-axis as average. Next we will add a column chart to display multiple financial information of each company. Let's add the company field to the x-axis. On the y-axis, we will add a number of key financial information, such as total assets, total liabilities, equity, sales, etc. The chart will be sorted by the first item in the y-axis list, which is total assets. If you want to sort the chart by another information, such as sales, you need to bring that to the top of the list. Now we will display the debt and equity, and for that, we will add a donut chart. We will add the debt and equity fields to the values area of the donut chart as average. This chart will also act as debt and equity ratio. We will create a copy of the existing donut chart to create a chart for the current assets. We will replace the debt and equity fields with the cash and other current assets fields. This chart will also show us the percentage of cash in total current assets. We will create a copy of the current assets chart to display total assets, total abilities, and the equity information in a single charge. We will replace the existing fields in the values area with the total assets field, total liabilities field, and the equity field. This gives us a nice view of a balance sheet. Our dashboard on the overview of financial information is now ready. In the next dashboard, we will look at the earning performance in more detail. Now we will just create a copy of our existing dashboard and rename it to the earning performance. Let's change the heading to the earning performance as well. Let's replace the sales value in the KPI visual with the earning per share value. Let's remove the bottom right visual from the dashboard, and replace it with a copy of bottom left visual. Let's change both line and column fields, in column y-axis and line y-axis, from average to sum. And finally, let's replace the company field, in x-axis, with the year field. And now we can view the performance of each company over the years. Let's remove all the donut charts as well. Now we will analyze the relationship between sales and the gross profit by adding a scatter chart. We will add the sales field to the x-axis and the gross profit field to the y-axis of the scattered chart. The year field needs to be added to the values area. We will also enable the trend line to display a trend line between the sales and the gross profit. To further analyze the relationship between sales and the gross profit, we will add a line chart to our dashboard with both sales and the gross profit in the y-axis. And the year field in the x-axis. Now we will make a copy of the line chart to create another line chart comparing the gross profit margin with the net profit margin. We will replace the fields in y-axis with the gross profit margin and the net profit margin fields. To analyze the assets, we will create a of duplicate the existing dashboard and rename it to assets. We will replace the earning per share from the title KPI with the total assets field as average. Let's remove the existing visuals to create new visuals with the assets analysis. First, we will add a line chart to display the quick ratio and the current ratio over time. We will add the year field to the x-axis and the quick ratio and the current ratio fields to the y-axis. Next we will create a copy of the line chart, and place it at the bottom right of our dashboard. Then we will replace the fields in the y-axis, with the total assets field, and the total liabilities field. Finally, we will add a donut chart to our dashboard to display the breakup of current assets. We will add the cash field and the other current assets field to the values area of the donut chart. For our final dashboard, we will analyze the equity of these companies. We will replace the fields in y-axis of the line chart with the equity field to display the amount of equity over the years. To display the debt and equity ratio, we will replace the fields in the values area of the donut chart with the debt field and the equity field. We will change the line chart in the top left corner to a line and column chart. Let's replace the fields in line y-axis with the earning per share field. And column y-axis with the net profit field. Now we will make room for another visual. Let's add a card visual to our dashboard to display average number of shares by adding number of shares field to the fields area of the card visual as average. Let's also replace the total assets field in the title KPI with the equity field. We also need to change the title of the dashboard from assets to equity. And this concludes our analysis of financial data in Power BI. Thanks for watching. We hope you liked our tutorial. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more tutorials and updates.